Hey everybody, I hope you're staying happy and healthy. I'm Robbie from Detroit Driver, and today we're going to look at a very special car. So yesterday I did a tour of Miller Motor Cars. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. But on that tour, we saw a very, very special Pagani, the Huayra BC Macchina Volante. Now, I didn't spend too much time in that video talking about it because I know there was so much to say, so I wanted to make a video of its own. So here we are. We're going to look in depth in this car and kind of lead up through a little bit of Pagani history and really talk about the development and significance of this automobile. So let's jump into it. Alright, so we're back here at Miller Motor Cars. I did a virtual tour of them before. This is their Pagani dealership. They have so many other different brands, so make sure to check them out. But we are going in depth with Pagani, especially with the BC Macchina Volante that they have in the back. But we're going to start in the front and kind of walk through the dealership more in depth and learn a little bit about the history of Pagani. So Pagani is a car brand which was founded by Horacio Pagani. He's still alive and still very involved with the development and everything related to these cars. So originally, he is from Argentina, but he really got his name in the car world when he worked at Lamborghini. So at Lamborghini, he was crucial to the development of the Countach, which, if you know anything about cars, you've probably heard of that, the iconic wedge-shaped Lamborghini. What kind of took off for him was his belief in these composite technologies for cars, kind of what we know now more popularly as carbon fiber, forged carbon, all these lightweight alternatives to the standard steel, metal, aluminum that had been used for years in the car industry. So he actually bought autoclave. There's a really interesting story about how he had to go to the bank for a loan and really didn't have much faith from Lamborghini behind it, so he kind of just did it on his own. And he's through this kind of started to develop his own liking for cars and his own designs, and ultimately he realized that these designs didn't necessarily meld well with the direction that Lamborghini was heading. So in 1999, he launched his first car, the Pagani Zonda C12. This was launched in Geneva and was met with tons of success. It was new, it was radical, and just the level of detail on the cars are amazing. Now, as we continue to look at these cars closely, you'll realize that everything has purpose, function, engineering, and art thought behind it. But before we do that, I wanted to quickly stop here and take a look at the Pagani symbol. Now, the reason we're looking at this is because the oval theme here really shows up in all parts of his cars. You'll see this kind of connectedness in everything that goes on. So it's very important to talk about this before we really look more in depth with the cars. So, the obvious oval shape encircling the logo, it says Automobili Modena or Modena. This is Modena Cars in Italian, and this is where Pagani is based out of in Italy. This is the same region of Italy that Ferrari and Lamborghini are also focused in on, so that's pretty cool. One other touch before we go on, we obviously have the last name of Horacio here, but we also have this section right here, which actually is an H and then a P. So that's just a really cool nod to Horacio himself and the level of thought and design that goes into everything. So, As we look in this dealership, we have the beautiful brick and steel. Actually, that might be iron beams. But anyways, we have this mix of artwork with engineering steel. I believe that there's no way that that's a coincidence. Everything is intentional, and a lot of Pagani dealers look this way. Again, because Horacio Pagani, everything is in the detail. Now I moved quickly back over here because we have a more modern and simple Pagani design on this bottom as well. And then we also have this, looks kind of like a trophy or an award or something, that has these 4 exhaust pipe layout, which originally was on the Zonda, which is the first car that Pagani did, and then they carried this idea with them to the Huayra. So if we turn around and see here, oh, we can't get a good angle on here, but we'll look at this other Huayra. We see, again, the 4 tailpipe layout. So that's just kind of one idea that Horacio has carried through. Now we see the Pagani symbol here again. And then we're met in the back with the car that this tour is all about, the BC Macchina Volante. There were originally 100 Huayra coupes made, which is the red carbon car that we just saw right here. Then Pagani decided to make an even more hardcore track version of the Huayra called the Huayra BC. Now, BC stands for Benny Caiola, who was a longtime friend of Horacio Pagani and was actually the first customer of Pagani, so he bought the first car. They only made 20 of these, but what's even more special is that this is a one-off edition BC called the Macchina Volante. This was inspired by Horacio Pagani's admiration for Leonardo da Vinci. Horacio Pagani has mentioned many times that Leonardo da Vinci was a major source of inspiration because of both da Vinci's love for art and love for math and science. On Pagani's website, it says specifically that the goal of Pagani is to build a car that is both an engineering marvel and a work of art. I mean, just look at this thing. They definitely have achieved this goal in all of their cars, but I think it's time to go in a little bit more depth. So Macchina Volante stands for flying machine. Again, Leonardo da Vinci had a love for flying things. Obviously, he lived a long time ago, so there's a lot of development within the science and technology industry that has happened at that time. But this car really takes inspiration from flying machines. So, the Huayra BC normally has a wing on the back, but this is an even more special one-off edition wing that was made for this car. As we can see, Macchina Volante is written there in Horacio Pagani's own handwriting, as well as detailed here on the wing, which we can see better from the other side while we zoom in right here. There's also a plaque on the inside of the car that shows that, so when we look at pictures in a few minutes of the car, I'll be able to point out more of those details. Now, this car, as we see it here, is spec'd in these gold wheels. Normally, I would not be a fan of them, and there are still pictures of it with black wheels. However, there are these gold elements that work its way through the car, specifically in the engine bay. Now, the Pagani Huayra BC is powered by a 6-liter V12 AMG engine. It produces over 800 horsepower 811 pound-feet of torque, and weighs only 2,600 pounds. That is mind-boggling. Now, a part of the weight saving is obviously due to the apparent carbon fiber everywhere. The entire body, the entire wing, roof, everything practically is made out of carbon fiber. Now, the outside is in this blue color, which is called blue tricolore, and it's also matched with this gray carbon. This car particularly, here we get a better view of the level of detail of carbon. Now, this car particularly has this roof scoop, which is taken from the Pagani Zonda, and also has Zonda-inspired mirrors. So these are not the normal Huayra mirrors. These are actually taken from the Zonda, as noted by the 3 colors of the Italian flag. It also says Huayra BC up here. And if you didn't notice, these headlights right here, oh yeah, they're the same oval design as the Pagani logo. So that's just one thing that we've noticed here. These parts of the car are active flaps, so they go up and down based on speed, braking, etc. that is demanded of the car. The carbon fiber level of detail on the Pagani is unparalleled anywhere else in the automotive industry. Again, Pagani sort of developed and really believed in these alternative technologies and composite resources as used in cars. So it's quite clear that he believes in his own design and has really structured and built his car around this idea. Every single piece of carbon fiber on every single Pagani lines up perfectly. No other car gives this level of detail and attention. Koenigsegg is very, very close, but Pagani is the ultimate master when it comes to this. Now, before we look at some pictures really quickly, I wanted to kind of show you around the rest of the Pagani showroom. Again, this table is sort of half of that Pagani oval. All of these drawers are half of the Pagani's, or the full Pagani ovals. We have some leathers here. We assume that you can spec out your car here. And it's just like a beautiful, serene place. Again, we have the oval here, and there's carbon fiber on the bottom of the table. Lastly, we'll see with some pictures, but Pagani has beautiful luggage that goes around along with each car. This is all carbon fiber and leather, and it's all, again, handmade, specified for each customer, and just absolutely amazing. So, let's jump in to look at the pictures now. So I moved over to Miller Motor Cars' website. They are the dealership that has this car, and it actually still currently is for sale. So as we noted in the tour, the car had gold wheels. As we see here, however, they have these black wheels with kind of the blue accents. But we'll move on really quickly so we can see that there's pictures of the blue and the black, and there's also pictures of the gold. Now, what's really cool about Pagani is they can open up their cars just like this, and it absolutely looks like a transformer. I believe you have to do this manually, unlike a Koenigsegg where you can do it on the keys, because there's these leather straps that I don't know if you can see here, but they are handcrafted leather, very, very special, unlike anything else in the car industry. Now, the luggage that actually comes with the car is stored in these little compartments right here. So that's pretty cool that it's, handcrafted and designed specifically for the car and has its own function. This car specifically was signed by everyone who worked on it in the factory, and as you'll notice right here, this is Horacio Pagani's signature. So that's just a cool touch. Then as we move on, Again, we have the 4 tailpipes. We see better the Macchina Volante written out there. There's even an MV noted on the, if I can find the picture again, sorry about that. There's an MV right there, which is another tie to Macchina Volante, and the Pagani logo as well. As we move on, we can just see the beauty of the interior of this car. Here is the AMG engine. We have some of the gold features here. And just even the inside of this car is beautiful. That's what's so special about Pagani. You know, these are parts of the car that nobody would even think really to look at because most people don't. But every single detail, every single part is thought through and made beautiful. Even the color of the exhaust pipes is just mesmerizing. So this is why Pagani is one of the absolute greats. They were supplied with 2 different black keys, and Horacio Pagani also signed the inside of this awesome key box. Now, this car was also inspired by another person beyond Leonardo da Vinci. This was Juan Manuel Fangio, who was a Formula One driver. Now, the first car that Pagani actually produced that was a tribute to him was the Zonda F in 2005. This one specifically, the interior is attributed to him because of this leather, this stitching, and this fabric. It is believed that this BC is number 12 of 20. 12 was very significant to Manuel Fangio, and we can see the number 12 written there as well. This interior fabric is one off and was inspired by the 1955 Mercedes-Benz W196 F1. This fabric is a tartan fabric and is just specially handcrafted. The luggage we can see here says Huayra BC, the Pagani logo as well, and the luggage obviously matches the interior. We have the Italian flag theme brought into the inside as well. Look at the level of detail of the carbon fiber still through here, the steering wheel, the instrument panel, everything. Another nod to the oval is this compartment, storage compartment is half an oval. This break in the seat is half of an oval. Even the oval is on the gas pedal, which we can see there. And it's also a logo is stitched in there. Now, as we finish kind of looking at the interior, let's see if we can get some better pictures. Another Pagani logo. Just look at the detail, the timelessness, and classic styling of this car. Here is the logo, again an oval, and the handwritten Macchina Volante. Just to know that this is a very, very special car if you somehow forget when you're driving. Look at the steering wheel, all the carbon fiber, all the switches, everything is very tactile, it's elegant, it looks new, but you can also tell that it's classic and will stay classic looking forever. So huge thanks to Pagani for thinking of these ideas and coming up with them, developing them, executing them, and sharing them with the world. I really hope you enjoyed this video. We got to learn about the awesome history of Pagani and really look in depth to their amazing cars. For me, I really love the engineering and artistic touches that this brand has, and I cannot wait to see what the amazing future holds for them. If you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you could like, comment, and or subscribe. It would mean a lot to me to get some feedback from you and understand what you would like. I plan on doing another one of these car review information style videos virtually, so be on the lookout for that. I will also have some more virtual tours coming soon, so stay tuned. More awesome content is on the way. I'll see you next time.